January 20th, 2020. Can you believe it? It's 2020 already. And we're here with another totally spectacular episode of Monday Night Raw. I am your host, Matt Morgan, joined by Giggles McGee, Glenn Rubenstein, and his compadre, Mr. Raj Giri, owner, proprietor of WrestlingInc.com. That was pretty good.
You're pretty good at this.
Yeah, you should be doing this, Matt.
No.
That was pretty good.
I was nervous. No.
See, that's why
Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw tonight. Here we are, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. So much going on tonight. Some stuff to like, maybe some stuff not to like. If you'd taken a drink tonight, every time they said Monday Night Messiah, you would be in the emergency room right now for alcohol poisoning, having your stomach pumped.
I will add an asterisk. Raj Giri did exactly that. So for all those that want NWO Raj, he's here tonight, folks. Tell your friends.
I might need to do that for the Rumble this Sunday.
So we opened up tonight with Seth Rollins, Akam, and Razor, joined by Buddy Murphy, the newest disciple of the Monday Night Messiah. And I'll admit I was a little sour on this at first. I don't know about you guys, but when you look at Buddy Murphy, this trajectory from where he was a week ago, the guy that was destined to lose to Alistair Black, to tonight being a tag team champion, even if I don't like this angle, I feel good for Buddy Murphy.
Hell yeah. I liked it. I think this is good use of these are the three people, him and that tag team are the three people I would say out of like how many 20 to 50 that we say that are in the mid card and lower card. Like, why don't they do this with this person? Why don't they do this with this person? Well, they're doing this with these people finally. And we may not like it every time, but I think we got to try to control the narrative a little bit better, public consumption and opinion by putting them over more. I know it sounds crazy, but do you know what I mean? People are so negative on every single aspect of everything. These are three mid-carders that are getting a pretty damn good run right now in the main event picture. And if you told anybody, any one of us a year ago that those three would be in a main event picture, no way.
Yeah. I thought this was good. I'm with you, Matt. I thought it elevates those guys, and they don't look like they don't belong. So
which happens, by the way, people stick out like fish out of water when they don't belong, and they try to force that squirrel, Jesus Christmas, that circle peg into like that square hole, right? Yeah, it didn't look that way.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy looks sharp in the suit. I like this. I mean, I think Glenn, you talked about the Messiah group and how they don't really have a purpose, and it would be kind of interesting to hear like what their whole objective is, what the point of this group is. Just for shits and giggles, I just assume it's to take over pro wrestling. I always assume that's what everybody's MO is when they put together a group, like they're combating the company and they're taking over. Then they should make that a point in their promos. They're just
what
there.
Are they saying? Are they never saying that? Am I just putting in head?
Seth said tonight, and this was confusing in the promo because I know what he meant to say versus what he said. Let me just find this quickly. He specifically called out and said this was determinism at its finest. Pretty sure he meant determination. Determinism is the idea that man has no choice. Everything's predestined.
Right.
But determination at its finest, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, this is Seth. He's been the architect. Now he wants to rebuild Raw in his image with his disciples. It kind of works in that sense.
I'm going to argue, Glenn, and say that the writers used that word incorrectly.
Yeah, perhaps. Easy slip to make, though.
I would argue Seth Rollins has never heard the word determinism until tonight. No way.
Yeah.
That is a creative team word. No way around it. And they use it incorrectly. You're right.
Yeah. It's not to nitpick it, but it does matter. To your point, though, Matt, if you're out there cutting the promo, right, you got the band together. You got the four guys. This is your chance. You're in front of the world. What do you stand for? It's like, man, choose your words carefully and be very accurate and succinct in your mission statement.
Just say you want to take over. That's it. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be interesting if CM Punk has anything to say about, because it's very straight edge society-ish, and Punk is going to be back on WWE Backstage tomorrow night. And he usually doesn't hold back, so
no,
that'll probably be one to watch.
So they were interrupted by Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. And know they've got backup. Not going to be 2-on-4. Outcoming to join them, the surprise third and fourth are the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar.
This is where this segment lost me. No offense. I take it back. They served their purpose because they're no longer tag team champions. So hooray for that.
Sure.
Isn't it weird that the two singles, his faction is two singles guys and a tag team, and it's the singles guys that win the tag team championship, not the
Yes. Yeah. And we should talk about that at length when it comes to the match, because that, I mean, again, I'm trying to be positive. This actually, tonight Raw flew by. Tonight wasn't a slog of a show. The wrestling was really good. It had a really good pace. But yes, I agree that Authors of Pain, who look like beasts, it is a little weird that the two singles guys got the shot and the championship tonight.
This is being super duper like overthinking, but do you think it's because haven't they been tag team champions already?
No.
Ooh, okay, then I got nothing.
I mean, in NXT, but no, not on.
Not in WWE though. Okay.
Yeah. I'm concerned about the Viking Raiders being with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens.
They need just to go replace them. Joe, KO, just replace them.
But we talked about this. You don't want your faction to be the chunky bunch. You don't want to be the husky boys.
Thank you for being the one to say it.
I was like, how do I say this without...
No, I was thinking it tonight.
What sticks out, guys, it does stick out. It does. I'm not saying everybody's got to look like Ultimate Warrior or Rick Rude or John Hennigan, but, like, come on.
Yeah, have a Rusev or someone in there that looks
let's bring over Otis and Tucker, and we can have vignettes where they go down to the big and tall store, and they're all trying to find pants in their size. I mean, it's not a good look to bunch all of these guys together. Ricochet. And I'm saying this because Owens and Joe look like badasses. They look like bruisers, but they're on the precipice of it, though. They're on the precipice where you get them with two fat guys, or especially the one, and it's like, oh, it's just not a good look.
So here's the thing. I remember you guys being concerned about just Joe and KO being together. And that, at least Glenn, I remember for you that for a minute there, that was like a pause for you, I remember, and like, but they both kind of similar builds, Well, this just throws everything right out the damn window in my defense of all that, because now they added two more.
Let me tell you a quick little story. I have some friends that are larger men. And I remember one time we were going to go out to eat. And we were trying to decide where. And we said, let's go to a Mongolian barbecue. And I was like, I'm not going to a buffet with a bunch of other big guys. Like, this is a bad look for all of us. We are not doing this. Go without me.
You see the worry on the restaurant owner's face when you guys walk in.
Chris Davis, I like his suggestion, thicker than thieves. Yeah, it's. I'm hoping the Viking Raiders were a one-time only pairing tonight.
Yeah, I think you could take the Viking Raiders out. Put in like Ray's done with Andrade. Okay. Put in Ray and Ricochet. Two guys.
Even better. Yeah. Why is Ricochet not in this?
Man, they killed Ricochet tonight. Yeah, we'll get to that.
But he would have been perfect, actually.
Yeah. No, he would be great.
By the way, I did Google. There's never been a wrestling faction named the Husky Boys. Some indie group needs to jump on that. Like, that's a tag team name waiting to happen.
The Husky. The Husky Brothers or something like that?
Maybe. I don't know. But yes. So we had this ladder match for the United States Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. Got to shout this out. Andrade and Zelina tonight. Those outfits looking like $1 million coming out to the ring.
Yeah, I agree. Look like superstars.
They know what they're doing. I mean, they know so much of wrestling is the character and the look. And they're constantly working on it.
Yeah. We asked for the tag team of Joe, KO, and the Viking Warriors, not Glenn and his posse. It is that married band of buffet eaters.
I'm just saying, it's because I want these guys to get over. I think it's good, and that's the thing. They treat Tucker and Otis especially like that, and I think, it's a little too much. Anyhow, let's talk about this ladder match. This was great. Andrade retained. It was a competitive match. There were some great spots, some great ladder spots. Cool stuff overall. I love this match.
Whatever happened to saying, hey, I liked the story. I like the psychology. You just went right to spots.
Yeah. Okay, talk about the psychology. Give me that element, Matt.
The psychology in it was good. Yeah. And they did. This is how you want to put over spots and not sound like a spot monkey, Mark. You simply say they did a good job of their ebb and flows of crescendoing to spots where these weren't just spots. Their quote unquote spots were part of the story, and they improved the story when they hit their quote unquote spy spots. meant them make more. Meant more.
Yes, it wasn't just a spot fest. There was a build. There was a story. There were beats in
There was.
between.
And Andrade he does a good job of that, by the way.
And
he's not all just spots.
Right, and the build to this match was good. I don't know
Zelina.
why they didn't do this at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, and even Zelina at the top of the ladder, like there were great moments in this match. This could have easily stolen the pay-per-view if it would have happened somehow.
Absolutely. Or why not even do it in the main event of this show? I mean, that show went out on such a whimper. This would have been a great way to end the show, unless, like, Lana and Rusev, that whole thing is just such big in ratings that they felt like they needed to close with it. But as a go-home, anyway, we'll get to that. But this match, man, Ray's 45. He was doing stuff in there that I don't think he should be doing. He got dropped on his head, that power bomb on the ladder that didn't break. It was just brutal. I mean, you feel that stuff when you're 45.
Good Lord, 25. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm telling you, that ladder would kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, for you
from the top, and he was going to do that Hurricane Rana, and it like landed on his neck. It was, I don't know.
Yes.
Like it's times with matches like these. Sometimes it's hard to enjoy it because you're like worried about the guy. You know?
Yeah.
And then after, well, I think Ray is going to get a little bit of a break because after the match, after Ray was defeated, someone appeared wearing a Ray mask, and it was Humberto Carrillo.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a step down.
Wait, why?
Well, because Humberto had been beaten so many times. He's doesn't have much steam. I think Andrade coming off this big win over Ray, a big story. I feel like he needs someone bigger next. I don't know, Alistair Black, somebody.
I think even bigger, actually.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I don't think they have someone on that level. I always call it that Intercontinental Champion level.
Right.
But I would argue the people they have in the Intercontinental Champion level, sans Braun Strowman, hasn't been built up enough to be what I would put in my intercontinental level of talent. Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, Roddy Piper. Do you know what I mean? Those types of people. Jeff Jarrett, Honky Tonk Man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And Matt Hardy would have been great in that
Matt Hardy.
If they hadn't buried him over the last month and a half. I mean, that would have been great for him because if he is leaving, at least you're having him put someone over like Andrade. Give Matt Hardy some wins early, have him be the top contender. Him and Andrade have this big feud, and then ultimately Andrade goes over. That
would have been great. They did this backwards. They should have done Humberto first, Mysterio next if you want, and then a built-up Matt Hardy.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you could have Andrade retire Matt Hardy. You do a loser leaves WWE, so it puts even more heat on him.
Yeah. But Alistair Black, even though he's winning and stuff, I still think he's not a big enough opponent for his next storyline angle and opponent. He needs to win that storyline for.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
That's true. Ali Love 11G saying, I thought it was Ray's son, honestly, to defend his dad. That's true. It could have been Dominic. There's a lot of stuff they could do with this. But to your point, though, Raj, about Andrade rising out of this, that is important. It does seem like they're going to keep him in this lucha pigeonhole, this little slot here, which is unfortunate because I think they're building him really, really well. And I think, it just depends on where they take it. So we had Alistair Black follow that with an enhancement talent. Simple win with the Black Mass. We had Alistair versus Andrade before. What was that, like a year or so ago when they wrestled? That would be a good feud now. I mean, especially with the Zelina Vega element.
And NXT, right? They had the feud. Didn't
Andrade
beat Alistair Black for the title?
Yes.
Yeah, they could do something cool with that. And then we had Brock Lesnar come out with Paul Heyman. So a healthy recap of what we saw last week. Heyman did his usual spiel, and he was interrupted by Ricochet.
Good. His act is old. But go ahead.
I agree, but compare Ricochet this week to R-Truth last week. R-Truth
did a better job with his minutes.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Saying that, but come on, folks at home that watch this show, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you were not more entertained by Ron Killings.
Oh, absolutely. This deflated Ricochet. This took him down a couple notches. This segment.
What am I missing? You guys, maybe I'm missing something. What am I missing that they don't see in this kid? Oh, we could go to a promo. Do you know how many people I've heard that about?
Yeah.
AJ Styles, I used to hear that about for 8 straight years. I was with Impact.
Yeah.
Okay, look at him now.
But look at this material that they're giving him. First of all, I think if they, just played to Ricochet's strengths and, limited on the promos, just play to his strengths, but instead they have this, it's 170 pounds coming out, talking smack, like acting like a bully to Brock Lesnar.
And what's the matter,
Brock
scared?
To be scared, and the way he asked it was just so weak.
You know what it sounded
Brock,
like?
scared?
Because he would never say that. I would never say that. All three of us collectively standing on each other's shoulders would never say that to Brock Lesnar.
It was so bad.
You know
like
what it sounded,
I even tweeted during that. I'm like, man, I want Brock to just punk him out after this promo.
We got to go back to this. Fun Times with Games donated $1.99. That's the only reason I'm reading this. And said, Ricochet is such a dork, Brock. This blows. First of all, yes, this blew. Secondly, he's not a dork. I have a feeling he's cool, but we're not seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That dude looks like a movie star.
He should be a heel. You know why? And I know people give me crap for always saying people should be a heel because they don't know how to write promos for baby faces. And at least they would give him much better stuff.
He would end up being cooler somehow.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately he ended up getting cheered, but at least
which a heel shouldn't be doing. But this is how bad they. Yeah.
Ricochet versus Brock could actually be a spectacularly entertaining
Yes,
match.
of course they could.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Ricochet doing the promo with Brock, it made him sound like the nerd in the 80s movie that's standing up to the bully and giving a speech right before he gets his ass kicked.
I know.
It just
On top of that, he
downgraded
gets punked
Ricochet
out.
so much.
Not only is he talking smack, but he just gets dropped. I mean,
Guys,
they
I
just made him
remind
look
you,
terrible.
they had me stutter on television. That was their creative for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, we can't put it all the time on the talent and assume it's the talent. Like, this is not on him, man.
Well, and Brock hit him with a low blow, so people argued on Twitter, no, Ricochet, was a low blow, so it doesn't count against it, doesn't make him look weak by having him punked out that way. But yeah, it was bad. He should be able to credibly put on a match with Brock. I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
Damn.
I worry about what they're doing. I'm sure they'll have a spot in the Royal Rumble, but the spot will likely be Brock Lesnar eliminating Ricochet.
He has been there long enough where this dude should be way up the ladder by now.
I could see this segment hurting Ricochet even more with Vince too. I could see Vince saying like, "This is your opportunity to go and really kill this promo," and which is going to be hard for anyone to kill that promo. But
Okay, I can't say his name.
It's Ernie.
How?
Well, his first name is Ernie. He tweets at us. So
All right, Ernie always.
Lynch.
Yeah, Ernie always writes in, and he writes us on Twitter too, I see. He writes, Ricochet is like Kenny Omega, ultra talent, but no personality. Now, if you watch just the shows, and you're not like super duper fans like we are, and we know their potential, it's hard to make an argument what he's saying, because they do make these guys corny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, no charisma.
Justin Lopez with the super chat, $5, saying, I give Brock crap for not being on every week, but he's grown on me the last 2 weeks in these segments, like the not scared tonight. No, his one-liners are fine, but it shouldn't be at the expense. Yeah, this just was not a proper use of Ricochet. If you want someone to come out there and mouth off to Brock and do a good comedy segment or something that's going to be captivating or compelling, Ricochet, I'm sorry, is not the guy.
He's the ultimate David. I would argue he's a better David than Ray. I'm sorry. At his best, booking him the right way, I'm sorry. He is a perfect David.
But what kind of promo do you think David cut before he slingshotted Goliath?
You come out there.
Exactly.
Brock starts beating up the timekeeper and everybody else that's up there that's in around that ring that's not a wrestler. Total bully shit. Stuff that beating up old men. People he should not be beating up and picking on. And before he turns around, homeboy, the lights go out, lights come back on. Guess who's on the top rope and hits his flying triple Lindy flap flop crappy high spot shit. Ricochet. Crowd loses their bleep. And he takes it to Brock, goes and gets a chair immediately. He starts waffling with it. Remember when Ray did that? Dude, yeah. Ray got taken way more seriously after that.
Yeah.
And I'm just
him as a main eventer after that.
I'm just confirming here a little synopsis of the Bible. David did not cut a promo before taking on Goliath. He just collected stones.
Okay, I didn't say.
I know. Just for people following at home, that's what I'm saying.
Borrowed Undertaker's mystical powers to turn off the lights, and when they came back on, it's unloaded in the top rope, perched, ready to go, like a superhero would. Yeah, so that's what a superhero would do. That's what Spider-Man would do.
Yeah, that's true. Spider-Man would hit him first, then do the one-liner.
Yes.
would work a lot better.
Yeah.
So from this, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, two such well-paired opponents tonight. You really realize how tall Randy Orton is when you realize he's looking eye to eye with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Putting on a hell of a match with some interference from the OC, AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson, who ran in and attacked Drew. Then Orton got them to retreat with the steel chair. Mm-hmm. And when you think this is leading to a team up after this match, I don't believe there was a winner. I think this was a disqualification.
And this was just more pushing him in the babyface direction.
Yeah.
I mean? This was good. I was excited to see these two wrestling each other too.
Yeah, this felt like it could be a match on a major pay-per-view someday.
Yes. And I would argue it made Drew look freaking huge.
Yes.
Randy, we know how tall and lanky he is. So we all are used to him being every bit of 6'5". I used to argue even like a little closer towards 6'6" even. And there's Drew, to like a hair taller and way bigger.
Yeah.
I just want to point this out. Paul P saying Ricochet should have announced he's entering at number 2 because those guys could have had a super hot 3 minutes to kick off the Rumble with Ricochet throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Brock until the next opponent came in.
Yeah.
I'd be in favor of that. I think that would be good booking.
But some cool stuff. Who knows how long the intervals are going to be? You notice how Paul Heyman in that promo
intermittent intervals.
He kept saying intermittent intervals, which means I think that just means they'll just hit the buzzer whenever they want. There have been years where they do that. It's not,
they don't tell us that. They lie to us generally, right?
Yeah, they'll just throw the 10, 9. Yeah. But if you're like, I remember a couple years ago, someone sent us all the times and like it'd be like 2.5 minutes, then 30 seconds, and yeah, it was all over the place.
Drew really sold the hell out of that RKO tonight with that promo he cut afterwards when he was heaving and clutching his throat.
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to talk after that, quite, if we're being honest. So that was a very good job of selling it.
Yeah.
He said he's going to Claymore kick him. Hopes to God that he Claymore, gets to see Orton in the Rumble and Claymore kick him. He hit that Claymore kick on, a guy who was dressed up like a camera guy outside the ring. That was a pretty cool spot.
It was.
Backstage promo with Charlotte Flair about how confident she is headed into the Royal Rumble. She says she's prepared to face anyone. Becky Lynch walked up, looked at her, and then walked off. Flair went back to talking, said she's prepared to face 29 other women, but the question is, are they prepared to face the Queen? What do you think Charlotte's odds are for winning the women's
I was hoping she was going to enter the men's this year. I really was.
Didn't Nia last year?
Yeah,
Nia did last year.
Yeah, so why not Charlotte? I don't know. Does she need to win this, though?
No, but
I mean, what are the women's matches right now? Becky Lynch against somebody, and Bayley.
Macy. I don't know.
Do you want to try to?
Yes, Wayne Montgomery with the $1.99 super chat, telling us that we rock and asking us to wish him the best in Texas for 3 days. Well, I assume he's going to the Royal Rumble, which should be awesome.
Yeah, have fun, Wayne.
I didn't know what he meant by that. See, now I do.
I think the Rumble would probably be the most fun pay-per-view to watch live.
Yeah, it's
for the surprise element, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go to Hell in a Cell live because you can't see crap through that cage. Elimination Chamber is kind of boring. Money in the Bank is good. I'd go to Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble.
Why not Mania?
Well, Mania is good too, but I'm just saying, like the Royal Rumble, though, also Mania drags on a long ass time, but the Royal Rumble's like really fun. The energy of it always seems really fun.
What were we gonna say, Raj? You went to?
I went to the Rumble in '96 in San Antonio, where they had it at the Alamo Dome.
Shit, wrestling was way better then too.
Yeah, but it was probably the funnest pay-per-view I was at.
Huh.
We had
versus Shawn Michaels. It was,
wow.
Yeah.
We had Becky Lynch versus Carrie Sane tonight with Asuka in the corner. Becky taking her out at one point to keep her from interfering. And Becky picking up the win, but then attacked by Asuka afterwards. So we had Asuka standing tall, which I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that Becky's going to win and retain on Sunday.
Yeah. Chris Jones saying the 92 Royal Rumble was probably the best of all time. I agree. That one, Ric Flair won that one. You had Sid, Hogan, the Road Warriors. I mean, just the level of talent you had back then. Macho Man, Roddy Piper. I mean, it was just insane, the stars that they had back then.
I'm looking at the card. We'll talk about that for the Royal Rumble after we get done talking about tonight's Raw. We saw the tribute to Rocky Johnson, which is very nice tonight that they had, who passed away last Wednesday at the age of 75. And then we had the Raw Tag Team Titles match. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus the Viking Raiders. AOP just standing by, hanging out. KO and Samoa Joe in the other corner, hanging out. Of course, the two sides got into it and were ejected for a fair fight that ended with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy picking up the win. But I know we touched on this earlier, Matt. Doesn't it seem weird that AOP, the most credible tag team
in their faction,
on the faction, I would argue on all Monday night.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, it's like if you were in a faction and like, I don't know, like a smaller guy is like the world champ, and you're just like, I'm just hanging out, guys. Doesn't make sense.
I'm pretty sure that happened. I think it was called Fortune, and I think it was AJ Styles.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right if you're looking at it that way, but it also just reminded me that Seth is, champ, right? I think it more has to do with Seth being a double champ.
Well, he's not.
No, he's not champ. Brock's champ.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind, folks. Oh my God.
But it does give him authority having a title. And I see that's why they did this, because he's not going to be the champ. He's not going to be the US champ.
Honestly, then I don't really get it then.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a little bit to Buddy.
It does.
Good
but
for
you could
him.
have gotten two guys and brought them up a little bit more versus just the one. Seth don't need that. Maybe is that why? Maybe to get Seth another title? Just I don't know.
See, when they booked this match, I thought for sure it was going to end in a DQ with AOP getting in, and that setting up AOP versus the Viking Raiders for like the Rumble.
Yeah.
And so I was really surprised when Seth and Buddy wanted it. Yeah, like they said, Seth doesn't need it. It does help Buddy a little bit, but when they do lose the titles, I'm sure it's Buddy that's going to be taking the pin.
Duh.
They did that terrible SNL style Monday after the weekend update tonight with the Street Profits and guest R-Truth.
That was brutal.
Well, they're going back to the well with R-Truth. That's why.
The laugh track made it so much worse.
Oh man, the Street Profits, I think they're so good. R-Truth, we saw last week what he can do, but in these, man, it was just brutal.
Yeah.
Kevin Langhoff with the $10 super chat saying they should have
Kevin.
Sasha win the Rumble and give her much earned title reign. Be unexpected as well. She could tease facing Becky and then face Bayley and break up the Boston Hug connection.
I like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I'm shocked the match on the card for Sunday is Bayley versus Lacey Evans for the championship, because they still have not done Sasha versus Lacey, correct? That didn't happen last Friday?
They didn't, no.
You don't think they've got Lacey going over for the title?
Oh, maybe. And then Sasha challenges?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work.
I could see them doing Sasha versus Bayley. I like that idea. With Becky, I have no idea. I mean, Charlotte just seems like it's been done to death. Shayna, I don't know if Shayna is going to have that steam once she's on the main roster. So
She won't.
yeah.
And WWE insider Justin LaBar has pointed out that
It's not the main roster.
well, no, that's not the main roster, but that Shayna got heat for that triple threat at Survivor Series. So maybe she is not main roster bound, that they're not high on her.
Which was not fair to put all the heat on her. That was a three-way match.
Right.
No, I agree.
All three bear that responsibility. That's not their fault either. They put the wrong type of matches on before you put those girls on. That was terrible.
Yeah, if they were quiet from the beginning, it's not like they were hot and then they got quiet.
Then they lost him or something. Yeah, that's not what happened.
So Matt Hardy has one foot out the door, and tonight he faced Eric Rowan in a pretty swift loss. With Eric Rowan once again being bit by whatever's in the cage, slamming.
They're never going to show what's in that cage.
Why does he keep reaching in for it?
He's an idiot.
Yes. And this was a waste of a Matt Hardy loss.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, he squashed Matt Hardy. I mean, I'm sure Matt Hardy is just counting down the days to March 1st. He did tweet after the match. He tweeted, "Wow, thanks for all the love and support from around the world. I'm trending number 17 worldwide because of my WWE slump and string of Raw TV losses. Hope you're enjoying my WWE TV appearances. At this rate, there won't be many more."
Oh yeah, he's leaving.
Or he's just trying to, get them to
so
change
hard
their
to
mind.
tell. It's so hard to tell with Matt.
Yeah. He could be just trying to work creative to give him something because,
Because they should be.
They should be, yeah. That broken gimmick is going to be huge in AEW.
Yeah. If they did. Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't see them not doing it. I know there's been rumors, like people are speculating that he'll be in charge of the Dark Order, but if he goes, but I think that's
Matt, you are as creative as they come. Matt, you cannot save the Dark Order. You just can't, brother.
It's like pairing him with the librarian. Just it's not a good idea.
And Matt can literally work magic.
Yeah,
But no.
not that much magic.
No.
Nope.
Good Lord, no.
I
I would like to see an AEW though. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so Eric Rowan won that, and then Mojo Rawley cutting a promo backstage. He's not going to be like the other 24/7 champs that runs.
Oh no.
Singh brothers try and sneak attack him. It backfired. Mojo took him out and retained the 24/7 title.
So what happens when they form a huge line of 17 wrestlers that want a shot at him? He's just going to take them all on one by one by one by one. That's a stupid strategy.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing was the conga line, right? They got rid of the conga line now.
Okay, I'm a fan of not. Okay, I'm a fan of no Congo line. I am. What I would do is just don't show up. Don't show up. Does it say you have to defend it like X amount of days?
Yes. Well, 24/7. You could defend it anywhere, anytime.
You are defending it, but why would you come to the arena if people can show up at your house and pin you? Why would you go? Why not just stay home and say, whoever comes to my house, then that's whose ass I'm beating. If they fly all the way out here to try to beat me, then fine, I'll beat them. But everybody else, I'm staying home. I'm not coming to you for 2 locker rooms full of men and women that any one of them potentially could pin me.
Yeah. Should be on a yacht with.
Maybe he's contractually
obligated to defend it every 30 days or something like that.
It has to appear at every Raw.
He should be on a yacht with Gronk somewhere and do segments there.
More entertaining than this.
Have the Singh brothers come up on a raft coming out to the yacht.
That'd be kind of funny, actually.
Let's talk about
Gronk would love doing it.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's what they've lost with the 24/7 title is that it was creative how they were doing it. Just having a bunch of guys chase each other through the arena is boring. It's stupid.
Well, you stop, you go, you stop, you go. You can't, can't just keep doing it, I guess.
So let's talk about Lana and Bobby Lashley versus Liv Morgan and Rusev. Jerry the King Lawler proclaiming they're making history as a married couple to perform together in a WWE ring, ignoring Lana and Rusev in the Mixed Match Challenge, Naomi and Jimmy Uso, always get confused, in the Mixed Match Challenge, and Stephanie and Triple H at WrestleMania. So this would be the 4th married couple competing together in a match. Liv and Lana got into it a bit. Rusev and Bobby got into it, but ultimately Lana and Bobby got the win after Lana grabbed Rusev's foot, stopped him from doing the Machka kick, and caused a distraction, whereas Bobby had a chance to do a spear, and he covered Rusev for the pin and the win.
Yay.
This, let me know what you think, Matt, but I said this last week too, but this looks like Rusev is on his way out. He took the pin here, didn't get much in. He got beaten like nothing last week, lost the pay-per-view match. This looks like what they do when someone's on the way out.
Why are they continuing it though? Like if Bobby's won the war, what the hell are we doing here?
It's ratings. But it seems weird to me that you have Liv losing right off the bat. She's been gone for a while. The storyline's a mess.
It is.
I think it hurts Liv.
It's been decided, though. That's the whole thing. All angles are supposed to be decided in a ring, right? And when the heel has now won multiple times.
Right. Yeah. Decisive.
All right, imagine the build. Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. What was that tag match? WrestleMania 1.
With Mr. T.
Oh, the Mr. T one.
Right? Now imagine, Piper and Orndorff, like whatever, beat them like 12 different times on those Saturday Night main events and whatever the hell it was, the build to get to that WrestleMania. Would you give a crap? Would it even get to WrestleMania? No, it wouldn't. Yeah. It'd be extinguished.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought they were gonna have Liv pin Lana. I didn't think they were gonna have Rusev beat Bobby, but
it's done. They've won. They won the war.
Yeah.
Like, what are they still doing?
Yeah, it was weird. I think it's good for ratings, so they keep doing it. This felt like the blow off, though. This kind of felt like this was it.
Has Rusev won any of these?
No. And he's the babyface. He gets, his wife's cheating on him.
Bounces on him, cheats on him, puts on television in front of everybody.
Taking him out, making out on top of him, and then they beat him every time.
Then the guy who does this to his wife beats him.
Yeah, every time.
Every time. What the hell?
Not a good look. So let's
Russo's
talk
got
about the Royal Rumble match, or the Royal Rumble pay-per-view happening Sunday. We're gonna have the men's Royal Rumble match. Do either of you, Matt, do you have a prediction of who's going to win the men's Royal Rumble match on Sunday?
I don't care. No, I'm not being a dick. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't care.
You know what? Like they didn't do like the Royal Rumble by the numbers video like they usually do. They have it on their YouTube channel, but not on TV. The Rumble matches seem like such an afterthought this year. You know,
Because
they haven't made it seem like a big deal.
They've done so many years in the past, right, where they custom build it for Roman Reigns or some Seth Rollins or somebody is going to win the whole thing because they already tipped their hand on who the main event at Mania is going to be through rumors and stuff like that. Usually, do you know what I mean? It's not a genuine surprise as much as it used to be like when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So for that element, I guess I'm excited because I don't know who the shoe-in is.
Right. I mean,
I guess I should be excited for that. I guess.
Yeah, Rumble WrestleMania, it's hard. I mean, usually you have an idea of where they're going for WrestleMania. This year, it's like not at all. So Cain Velasquez, he said he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't see him winning. I think it's going to be Edge or Drew McIntyre.
Where is Edge business coming from?
Well, Edge has been, rumored to be returning, getting the physicals done. He's denied it, but
why would he want to come back? He was so accomplished. He's a Hall of Famer. What's left?
Maybe a short run, just a few matches, and get that Saudi Arabia money. I don't know. Who knows? They do have Saudi Arabia coming up in like a little over a month.
Well, what do you think the winner challenges for? Is it going to be setting up a match against Brock? Because I think that's how you reverse engineer what it's going to be.
I think so. You could have Roman and he challenges Bray, but I think they wouldn't want it. Roman's getting cheered now. I don't think they want to risk screwing that up again. And having him win the Rumble would do that.
Yes, it would.
Okay, Women's Royal Rumble. Who do you got?
Charlotte Flair. I don't know.
Maybe Shayna as a surprise, and then she goes on to face Becky. I'll go Sasha.
No, Rhea Ripley.
Man, she's already champion. I guess she could do a champion versus champion match, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I gotta ask you about this.
Raj, you're gonna read it aloud.
Okay, B Money 04. I thought you were gonna read it. B Money 04. Thanks for the donation. He said he wanted to ask Matt about a story Xavier Woods told on the New Day podcast about you, Matt and Too Cold Scorpio.
I've never met Too Cold Scorpio.
Woods said you stole his moment with Scorpio.
What was his moment?
I don't know. That's what we were asking you. What is he talking about?
What the hell is he talking? I've never met Too Cold Scorpio in my life. When have I ever wrestled with him on the same roster?
Was there?
I've only done a handful of indie shows.
Did you replace him for something, or in TNA maybe? Because when Xavier Woods was Consequences Creed,
he was tag partners with Jay Lethal.
Yeah, was Scorpio supposed to come in at some point, and then they brought you instead?
No.
I'll listen to the podcast. I'll get some context.
Me and Abyss were tag team partners. The only time I've ever wrestled Consequences Creed in a tag match.
If anyone in the chat, if you guys listen to the
podcast, let me know.
Please let us know exactly what he was talking about.
Greg Barnett for the Women's Rumble, the prediction of Ronda Rousey. That would be interesting. I mean, it would definitely get some eyes on the Mania match. I mean, I guess against Becky, Ronda versus Becky makes the most sense for a Mania-worthy match. I think we have Sasha versus Lacey or Sasha versus Bayley on the SmackDown side. I think Ronda is logical to return at the Rumble.
Well, I mean, Ronda said the whole reason she was gone was to start a family, unless she's stopping that for now. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Ronda. I think I don't think so.
Okay, well, let's talk The Fiend in a strap match defending the WWE Universal Championship against Daniel Bryan.
Fiend.
Matt?
Yeah, it has to be Fiend. Fiend ain't losing anytime soon.
Yeah.
And Becky defending against Asuka. We think Becky?
Becky.
Okay, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin.
Why are we doing this whole thing right now, by the way? Okay.
Well, what else? What else do we got?
We got time.
Yeah, we got some time. Raw was a pretty
all right,
short.
Give me the match again. Give me the match again.
It was Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Ooh, that's actually a tough one for me to call. I'm gonna say King Corbin. Yeah, King Corbin.
You know, I could almost see them because there's no dog food, there's no dog collar in this match. I could almost see, and they've been doing the loser eats dog food match on house shows, so that tells me they're probably going to do it on pay-per-view. So I think Corbin wins this, and then they do the next month they do a loser eats dog food, whether it's in Saudi Arabia, whatever the February show will be, and then they do a loser eats dog food match, and then Roman finally wins that one. Because Falls Count Anywhere, you could have, you know, Dolph and all those guys. Yeah. Bobby Roode, all those guys help him out.
Yeah.
Shorty G versus Sheamus.
It should be Shorty G. I just would be building this kid and making him into something for going along with calling himself Shorty G. Sheamus.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Sheamus. Since he's his first pay-per-view match and it's WrestleMania.
This doesn't make sense for Shorty G though. I thought they were trying to build him a little.
I think it seems like that Shorty G stuff didn't get over, and it seems like they kind of put the brakes on that.
Oh, you really? Oh, WWE Creative. Shorty G didn't get over, really? Damn. No one could have seen that coming.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
And the kid gets punished. So this kid gets punished for it. That's what I love about this. This is such bullshit. Instead of giving him credit and doing something and saying, you know what, he went all out with this. This is ridiculous. We asked him to do it. He still tried to do it to the best of his ability. He's a freaking badass in real life as an amateur wrestler. Yeah. You know what? Let's continue to work with him and try to get him over.
Yeah.
No, that's not what they're doing.
Him.
I could see this being a pre-show match too.
Oh, definitely. And then we touched on this earlier. Bayley's going to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans, new champion.
Yeah.
You think so?
I'm hoping. Can I hope?
I mean, yeah, I guess I don't have any title changes, so if you're going to change one, this is the most likely.
Yeah, and Lacey versus Sasha, man.
Because Bayley she hasn't really been setting the world on fire as champion on SmackDown.
It holds Sasha back, actually. Unless she's going to turn on Bayley, which we've seen before. Do you know what I mean? Like, it holds Sasha back. So, like, they need to take the title off Bayley at this point and put it on a babyface. Problem is, Lacey's ready to be a main event talent, I think. I really do. And by having her, win the title and then immediately lose it doesn't do a good job of getting Lacey over either.
But WrestleMania is still a couple months away.
Sasha's got a rap album coming out. If that legitimately...
You got with timeout. Wait. Rewind. What?
Sasha Banks has a rap album coming out. Where have you been? This is legitimately happening.
Is it a track or an album? I thought it was just a track.
I don't know. They make it seem like it's an album.
What the hell? Are you kidding me?
So hip-hop is terrible lately. I imagine if Sasha does anything remotely decent, I could see it get a little bit of traction. WrestleMania could be her time to shine against Lacey Evans. That would be a hell of a match.
Could be. I see them
yes, it would.
Yeah, I could see them doing a multiple-person match, at WrestleMania.
Yes, and the album's with the help of Snoop Dogg, cousin.
Oh, hey, Enzo's had a rap album. Macho Man Randy Savage had a rap album back in the day, so I'm sure,
Leo Rush's music is
better than that.
Leo Rush's music is legitimately good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Anyhow, Matt's reaction. Though. You have to go back and rewatch that later. Fear not, Roman Reigns, in addition to his match with King Corbin, is also in the Royal Rumble. 22 entrants have been announced. Ooh. Brock Lesnar is going to be the first entrant. King Corbin also in the Rumble.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have announced Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Elias.
Really quick, AJ Styles is my pick to win the Royal Rumble. Continue.
Okay. Oh. Elias, King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Alistair Black, Buddy Murphy, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe.
Okay. I may hedge my bet and say like Braun Strowman's like my second pick.
Remember like Bobby Heenan back in the day when he just keep changing it just throughout the match.
And by comparison, the Women's Royal Rumble match has 4 entrants announced. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and Sarah Logan.
Did Charlotte say 29 other women? Because last year they didn't do 30 women, right? Like it was just an arbitrary number, or maybe
No, it was 30. No, it was 30.
Even if it's not, like say it's 15, why are they not listed yet?
I have no idea. Like I said, this year's the Rumbles are just an afterthought. They have not done a good job of building those 2 Rumble matches.
Sorry, Glenn. KCC says Glenn is the last person. The last capital letters I trust to tell me the state of hip hop. Sorry, but not sorry, Glenn. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's what I thought. Punk. Yeah. Wow, Casey, that was really mean. Casey went in on you, Glenn.
Hip hop. There's still good stuff with hip hop. Eminem's new CD just came out. And that was pretty good.
Yeah, you only know that because it's Eminem. You can't name another recent rap album that's come out. Probably, I'm gonna guess, in the last 4 years.
We lived through the. I'm sorry,
Jay-Z.
the best age of rap. And
Jay-Z, look at your kids. Does Jay-Z released an album?
Listen, 90. When did Biggie come out? 94.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ready to Die. No, because then Chronic was out before that. Even
that's like 92.
Chronic was 92.
Right?
92 is when I'm going to go. NWA was like what 91.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no, NWA originally was 86, 87, but yes.
The actual NWA first released album, full album.
Straight Outta Compton, I believe, was 87 or 88.
Yeah, because Dre went solo in 93.
Yeah. For me, for my money, 94 through 98.
Yeah,
You know what's weird is for me,
99.
the Chronic, when Dr. Dre came out, that's actually when I started to. That's when my favorite era of hip hop ended. I like everything that came out before that, like the first NWA record, first Ice Cube record that came out. Run
still
DMC.
sounds good today. Like it doesn't sound dated.
I still have it. Yeah.
It's awesome. That's like one of the greatest hip hop.
It's good. I just gangster rap wasn't as much my jam as the earlier stuff. I mean, we're talking like Third Base. I don't know why Third Base is the first thing I popped
You
to
were
mind.
not tough enough.
I was not tough enough.
If you're
LL
calling
Cool
it your
J.
jam, that tells us right away you are not tough enough to be listening to gangster rap. That's why you didn't appreciate it, because you would never hear either one of us say Dr. Dre was our jam.
I don't know, man, but just by comparison, I mean, come on, JJ Fad or Dr. Dre. I mean,
Hang on. Krillin 876 has a great point, plus giving us $2. He said Wu-Tang beats them all. Wu-Tang was awesome. Plus
Wu-Tang
all their
was
other
awesome.
releases. Chef Raekwon was my favorite tape. It was purple. Did you ever see it? You don't remember that tape when that came out?
No, I used to
Raekwon
like
from Wu-Tang?
Yes,
Dude,
yes.
the best single act release from Wu-Tang, in my opinion. Even better than Method Man CD.
Yeah, I used to like Black Sheep, Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah,
Most
that-
Def later. Yeah, I could still listen to Most Def anytime. But
I'll be honest, besides that one Black Sheep song, that's the only one I liked.
in the meantime,
Tribe Called Quest, every song you can let play almost just about.
On Low End Theory, every song on Low End Theory is a classic.
Yep.
yeah,
Every single
And
one.
Busta Rhymes comes out of like nowhere.
Oh my God. No, Scenario, I mean, right? Best posse cut ever.
Yeah.
Nothing else comes close.
So real quick, we got this other wrestling story to cover.
Oh my God, Raj, I'm begging you to let us get you ratings. I'm begging you to allow us to help you make some money. This is what they want to hear. I'm telling you, they're going to be up in arms. But go ahead.
So Konnan over the weekend got into an argument with Psicosis II. This isn't the same Psicosis from WCW. And Psicosis smacked him, like slapped him, and it was caught on video. The video's on Wrestling Inc. But yeah.
It is? I'm looking at it. I'm going to go right now.
Yeah, he Gonzalez, Juan Ebodillo Gonzalez is Psicosis 2's real name. I guess he believes that Konnan is the reason why he hasn't been booked in AAA. They got into a little Twitter spat, and I guess that was last month. They got into a Twitter spat. Psicosis 2 said, "I will be seeing you soon," and he did, and yeah, smacked him outside of the Impact TV tapings in Mexico. So,
Wait, what the hell is Impact doing there?
they go to Mexico a lot now. They, I guess they can kind of fill the arena there. So.
Just quick.
So that was that. Other than that,
Spirited discussion about hip hop breaking out in the Wrestling Inc. chat room, which, by the way, let me put them over for a second. I don't even know if you guys know about
Boomers
this, Raj
talking
and Matt.
about rap is what Paper said.
Raj, Matt, did you know that on YouTube, our listeners I hesitate to call them fans, but our listeners show up, our viewers show up and actually chat in the chat room while Raw is going on live.
Yeah.
So even before we start, people are hanging out in the chat room talking about pro wrestling right now. They're talking about hip hop. I love this community. It is absolutely fantastic. And I was going to say to the discussion of rap, you know what we should each do? We should each make like a Spotify or Apple Music playlist, each one of us of hip hop jams, and then share those with the audience.
And then see which one they vote the highest.
Which one gets the most plays?
I'm down.
Yeah. People are in the chat saying, don't forget the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, jeez.
Can't forget ICP.
Yes, I can.
I'll tell you, I saw ICP live in Detroit in 1995, and that is literally one of the craziest live shows I've ever seen in my life. Like just regardless of what you might think of their music or their wrestling ability, their crowd, worships them. They're throwing soda all over the place. Like it easily is one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Just for
ICP
pure
is
spectacle.
one of the few groups that they were in ECW, WWE, and WCW.
Yeah.
Huh.
Never on Impact, never on TNA.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Didn't miss him.
Yeah.
This guy's much bigger than Konnan, by the way.
Someone's asking if we listen to Eminem's new album. That was kind of like all I listened to on Friday while I was working.
I've got to admit, I'm behind the times. No, I've not.
After we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I started listening to a lot of UTFO again and Roxanne and the old like mid 80s rap. I've been on that kick lately.
Yeah. All right. I think we kind of covered everything.
So Justin made an announcement. We might have further details about that changing. Justin announced something about the WrestleMania get together. It's not final.
Yeah. So guys in the chat, let us know if you're planning to meet us in Tampa for WrestleMania weekend. Friday afternoon, if it works better doing Friday afternoon or Friday night or Friday earlier in the day. Let us know. We're working to make it happen, and it's looking really good right now. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yes. So everybody here who listens to the show, you see how funny stuff is when the show especially gets off the tracks. That's the stuff that you guys generally like the most. So you can imagine what this will look like in person, what it will sound like. Because these two, I don't think will talk half as much bleep as they do with me right there next to them. And Justin, you already know we ain't going to do that either. Plus, I can knock his hat off his head. We could see how sweet his tight fade looks. But there's so many things that we can do in person that you should all be wanting to come watch it.
Yeah, it'll be a ton of fun.
Supportive. You guys are the most supportive fans of any podcast there is. That's what it feels like, at least here. So this is why we want to do it. We want to meet all you in person, not just have Glenn go do a little, show out there and make an appearance and see all you guys. Or Raj does it from time to time, I know as well. I never get a chance to really do any of that stuff. So for this, I definitely will. And I look forward to it. It'll be really, really fun. So come on out when we find out what that date and time is. Thanks to your help. Please let Raj know what works best for all of you guys and what you guys think is best. And we will definitely run our show live.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Krillin keeps asking me about the Rich Piana story. He died like 2 years ago. I don't know
I don't know what. Hey, Krillin, I'm not sure what story you're looking for though exactly. Like that I was friends with Rich and that he passed away.
I think you mentioned something about that, right? Like
you did talk about Rich a couple weeks ago.
Rich Piana. He asked me the same question you just asked right there, though. I don't know what.
Did you say like there was a story that you, once you had more time, you were going to tell it or something like that? Something.
I swear to God, I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, Rich Piana was a very good friend of mine and a guy from 5% Nutrition. He owned it, made the funniest YouTube videos known to man. I don't really know what story he's talking about. I was a sponsored athlete through his company.
Yeah.
Paid me to push his product for him online. Yeah. I don't know what story.
Yeah. Real quick, do you guys think AEW will be taped this week? They're on the Chris Jericho cruise.
That's right.
They'll be going, up against a live version NXT. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe it will be live. I wouldn't think they'd risk doing it live just because you're doing it on a boat, and who knows if that satellite feed, if you have any issues. But
I don't like the chances. I think NXT catches them this week. I hope not. Well, because unless there's spoilers we hear something like really, really big.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised that they have not announced any NXT talent for the Rumble. Like after they got just creamed by AEW these last couple of weeks, this is the way to get main roster guys back on NXT. Kind of give that show
That's
another
true.
jolt. But okay, so a bunch of people are saying you mentioned it on Friday night. So
Please tell me what story though, because that was the same question I was asked then.
oh, thanks, Alonzo. Yeah, so it's gonna be taped tomorrow, Dynamite. I think Dynamite, unless NXT does something big, it's I think we're gonna be seeing kind of the same spread as far as the same gap in ratings between NXT and Dynamite. So yeah, we'll see.
Is it that rumors were that Rich Piana snorted pre-workout? Is that I can't? This he's a friend of mine and he passed away, so like, there's a bunch of different rumors that were put out there about him, but I can't possibly think like what in the world he's asking me.
Yeah,
guys, hit me on Twitter. You guys know my Twitter. It's BP Matt Morgan. Just ask me there or whatever it is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Bruce Benyon saying, "Are we really getting Goldberg versus Roman in Saudi?"
I like Godberg better.
Yeah, Goldberg. There has been that rumor floating around that Goldberg might be returning for another match, and Roman and him started a little Twitter thing over the weekend. So usually Roman won't rip Goldberg for no reason. So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to that. I'd be interested.
It's got to be quick.
Yeah.
I mean, these Saudi shows, Matt, you've never actually really watched one, right? I mean, and I understand the
You
reasons
refuse.
for not doing it. I don't, let me put it this way, Matt. If I hadn't watched them, I wouldn't feel like I missed anything. They are like a blurry little memory of, I'm trying to think what the coolest thing that happened was. And I mean, the first Greatest Royal Rumble was interesting, but.
I saw the highlights, however, of Natty and.
Oh, yeah, that was nice. That was very nice.
I did get to see highlights of that. There's still shots, but it looked cool.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing that's happened with these.
Yeah, that 1 year Daniel Bryan, that Greatest Royal Rumble where Daniel Bryan was like in there for over an hour, and like set the record for the longest time in a Royal Rumble. That was kind of cool. They did a few things here and there that, the Fiend winning the title, beating Seth for the title.
I just don't know how they're not getting killed in the press. I don't understand what I'm missing here. Is
now
it
that
the press doesn't know that WWE's there? Because, like, for instance, remember I told you I went to go speak at the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. It's a Super Bowl for that company, for that organization. It's nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm. And I got hit up a little bit because it said former WWE superstar. And in the comment section go, "Oh, you invite somebody that was part of a company that goes to Saudi Arabia?" I'm like, whoa, Kimasabi, I wasn't even there. Like,
right.
No, they just started doing the tours, the Christmas, for the troops, like way back. There was no Saudi Arabia tours, and if there were, I would not be on it. I even said about the podcast. I don't even talk about it on the podcast, so I know what the hell you're talking about. But so like I don't understand how like the press is not out there more talking about this and putting more seriously social pressure on WWE to stop friggin' going there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
I don't get it. Why are they getting away? Like if this was anybody, I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me. It feels like selective outrage.
Well, I mean, the only time they got the real backlash was right after Khashoggi was killed, and yeah, but the other shows they haven't really gotten that much.
Well, it's still
backlash.
happening. Like this is what they do there. I don't know.
WWE's a little under the radar though. So if Mariah Carey or Rihanna or someone goes over there,
big boxing fight there just recently.
That's what I'm saying, Glenn. I thought so too. I thought like it's okay. Nobody gives a crap because it's WWE. Yeah. Nobody knows enough that they're even going there. That's what I thought. But I was getting like attacked. Yeah. Like, how could you even wrestle? I'm like, they didn't wrestle there when I went there. When I was
yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
Anthony Joshua fought in Saudi Arabia, and that there was a little bit of backlash, but that was a big fight, and they did it there.
I don't know, man. For the kind of money they're making, I think you're willing to weather some trash talk.
Obviously, they are. They are.
I mean, look, AEW got this great TV deal, right? But WWE is making basically what they're making a year for that TV deal one night with the Saudi Arabia show.
Oh my God, really?
So yeah.
Yikes.
So and wrestlers still don't get health care.
Yeah.
Explain that one.
I don't know. Weren't you saying it's coming? Unionization, something? Lawmakers are gonna.
They think that because of that HBO piece that came out, like they're going to be the ones to fix it. And that
The California law is going to affect them potentially. You know, California has it now where you can't classify independent contractors that independent contractors are employees if they meet a certain criteria.
You know what the California law, you know what's ridiculous about that? Is if you have a writer, if they write more than 35 articles a year, they're supposed to be considered full-time. Think about that. That's 3 articles a month. So if a writer is writing 3 articles a month, they are considered full-time. So it's
well, who's going to put them over? Who's going to put these legislators over that made the bill other than those people that are writing about it?
Yeah, so all these writers are being let off.
Self-serving there, it feels like.
Yeah,
but but I bet you guys this right now, if that's what happens, WWE will change their setup of how they classify their workers. They'll change certain things, like what you wear. They'll probably throw that out the window. They'll probably be more lax. They'll have to do something because I can never see him folding. I just can't see it. I hope so.
I can see. Remember, they stopped going to Oregon for a long time because of the regulations. They just completely stopped going to that state.
It needs to happen, though. They need. It's such a basic thing. How do they not have insurance for that?
I fault AEW because I think if AEW had done that and made that move,
they still could
put pressure on them to do it. I thought so too. I did too.
They still could. Like before, they weren't making money. Now they're going to be profitable. So
2 shows a week, man.
Yeah, they're going to be introducing another show. Jesus.
I did say if they did do that, though, that I did say AEW would definitely be the first company to offer insurance.
Yeah.
To all the rest of us. So I know there's a smart ass in there going, well, don't the Bucks and so get insurance. I mean, everybody.
Right.
Yeah. We shall see. Anything else before we wrap this up?
No. I think this is gonna be a busy week. We got AEW, NXT Wednesday, and then on Friday we got SmackDown, Saturday Worlds Collide, Sunday the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
So it's a pretty stacked week.
And we're going to be here. So I'm going to be Wrestling Inc. will be here all those nights. I will be here every night except Friday this week. I'll be here Saturday and Sunday. This should be good, guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be good times.
He's at BP Matt Morgan. He's at Raj Giri _303. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein on Twitter, where I appreciate a follow. And we will catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
And I'd appreciate if you'd